where did that guy start? Well, that guy started with us never having done cold immersion. Never. Day one, he could barely get to his waist. Was that okay? Yeah. We taught him the practices, we worked on the techniques, and he entered there, and that was enough for him to not feel overwhelmed, to definitely feel challenged, and to be calm. So he went to the waist on day one, and we supported him in that. And then we worked on some other techniques. And the next day, when we went out, he was able to go into a cut ice hole. We had the ice 18 inches deep, right? And so very cold water, it's a beautiful day. And he was able to submerge in that ice hole the next day, right? Because he didn't overwhelm the system in day one. So he didn't have this negative backlash on day two. He was like, okay, I feel challenged. I can rise to the occasion. I'm going to get in. And he did that. And then by day three, he had so much confidence and his body was able to adapt that he's literally playing like a polar bear in the water. So that's the power of being deliberate, sequential. We definitely had our disciplined restoration after the fact, but he was able to progressively get in there better and better every day. Okay, and I can tell you tens and maybe hundreds of stories like that where people take a proper approach and can adapt very, very quickly. And so when we take people to Alaska, sometimes folks are like, oh my gosh, this is such an extreme environment. And it's really, it can feel a little bit intimidating. But when you're properly guided and you develop these good techniques, you know how to walk through the fire and you're all the better for it instead of letting it burn you, right? So that's what we're all about here, quality guidance. And so a lot of these recovery indicators that I'm talking about, it's how do you feel in the water? How do you feel 15 to 30 minutes afterward? Are you able to, get back to baseline effectively? And so we train people on how to do that, how to get back. How do you feel 4 hours later? Do you feel good and sustained energy? And then ultimately, how do you sleep at night? And if you facilitate this properly with good techniques, then you've got disciplined restoration. And that is the true path, step 4, to mastering things like contrast therapy, right? So if we kind of circle back to the mind, right? The mind plays such an important role in the overall ability to handle a lot of these stressors. Okay. If you want this practice, this cold and this heat practice to really serve you the best, it starts with the mind. Okay. How do we leverage it? How do we begin with our perception? So I've got a little quote here from Marcus Aurelius. Looks like it's blocked a little bit by our people. Let's see if I can change that. Can I pull this down? Yeah, I can. So perception is key here. If you're distressed by anything external, well, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it, right? I love that because this tells us about the locus of powers inside of us. We have the power to revoke that at any moment and change our perception. Okay, that doesn't mean it's not challenging or difficult or hard. It doesn't mean that we don't need to respect our bodies if something becomes, like I said, overwhelming or too much.